Alright, hey, Selkek, Paul, whatever you want to call me. Sorry that it's been 3 weeks since the last question video. I was transferring schools, things got busy, and lots of stuff, I'd never got around to doing this. So, the question I was asked from Mr. Monger, link right around there. Click on that and go watch his video if you have not seen it yet. Was robots. When are robots no longer considered robots? And when do we treat them as an artificial life form, like a full life form, not like a biological life form, but a mechanical life form, but we consider them living. They're no longer just machines we can turn on and off at will. When would it be murder to flip the power switch of a robot? And so I have, let me just tab over. The definition of a robot is a machine that resembles a human and does mechanical routine tasks on command. That sounds pretty self-explanatory to me. That sounds basically what you think of when you think of a robot. You think of the Osimo Honda robot. It looks human. It doesn't do routine tasks. I guess walking up and down stairs is routine, but it does it on command. That's the point. There's no imagination in that robot. I think that when robots can make up a mind for themselves and have complete freedom to do what they want to do, kind of like what we can do. Right now, if I just decided I'm going to go ride a bike, I could just get up and go ride a bike. That's it. I just have to have a bike, and I can go ride it. There's no, I need to go update my leg software for pedaling motions, or I need a team of technicians to put me on the bike, or my bike needs to be a fake bike on a track on the floor so it looks like I'm riding a bike. There's no, I can just go ride a bike. There's no outside influence at all. That's me deciding, okay, I want to ride a bike. I'm going to go ride a bike. I ride a bike. Once we can get to the point to where robots can, a robot, will just be chilling, doing whatever, and the robot would be like, I really want to learn to play the piano. And a robot goes and actually learns to play the piano and can actually play the piano. He wasn't programmed to play the piano, but he taught himself to play or herself, female robots, I apologize, him or herself to play the piano with all the intricate finger movements. And he didn't download a software and just go, I can play the piano now. That's Matrix level bullcrap. If a robot just decides to do something and it goes and does it, I would then consider that robot to be alive. It has imagination. It has freedom. It has fully articulated limbs with excellent precision. So that's where I think the level should be drawn. Is somewhere around there. Is that once robots are thinking and acting based on their own wants and needs and imaginations, then there's really no difference between us and them other than we're organic and they're metallic. Even then, people are getting metal plates to reinforce their bones, and there's work being done for people to have chips in their brains so that if you go blind and it's strictly blind eye damage, your eyes no longer function, you can have a chip in your brain that's connected to a camera, and that camera sends the information directly into your brain, and you go, I can just see through this camera instead of seeing through my eyes. That's all your eyes really are. They're just organic cameras that capture in light and then tell your brain exactly what's in front of you. Your brain is the one that interprets all that into things and objects and faces, and actually faces is the biggest one right there. I don't want to talk about that. That's a big subject. Maybe a later question we'll get on to why humans see faces when there aren't faces there, like the happy chair. If you've seen the happy chair picture on the internet, I love that happy chair. I wish I could have one. But I wanted to kind of expand more on this idea that robots can think for themselves and make decisions on their own with kind of this story that's been in the news. I don't know if you've heard about this or not, but Google, the big Google, Google.com, Google, has been working on this kind of project that they just haven't told anyone about. which I think is kind of awesome of them, that they're not going like, hey, we're going to be doing this, look how awesome we are. They're kind of like, yeah, we're doing this, we didn't tell anyone, it's not done yet, so why should we, get the hype up? We're working on it, give it some time. What Google has done is they've given your car an artificial intelligence. And not just any artificial intelligence. An artificial intelligence that can mimic and learn from human drivers. And they've been working on this for, I have no idea how long. Oh, sorry. I don't know how long. It's got to be a while. Because they legitimately have, I think they said 4 vehicles. 4 vehicles that can drive themselves with very little human interference in order to follow all traffic safety laws, no matter what kind of conditions, the traffic's in, the weather's in. And they do it better than a human would do it. Because they can see in a full 360 degrees around the car at all times. They can observe their entire surroundings without any kind of, distractions or anything, because it's an artificial intelligence, it's a computer. The computer can focus on doing multiple things at one time, and it does so very well. You may not think it. You may think, computers, they're just machines, and they can only do what we're telling them to do. That's not true. If you think about how many things your computer has to do at the same time, it has to constantly be outputting the visual input on the screen. It has to be updating that many, many times a second so that you get smooth video in order to watch my beautiful face talk to you right now. It has to listen for mouse and keyboard inputs at all times and respond to not just one at a time, but multiple inputs, click and drag, multiple key combinations for shortcuts, all sorts of that kind of stuff. At the same time, any application you have running is technically running, and you can be running more than one application at a time, so your computer is thinking about all those different applications at the same time. And your computer, if you've got background firewalls, if you've got background downloaders or any of that kind of stuff, it's doing all that stuff behind what it's already doing. So that's even more work. And then if you're got iTunes running in the background, it's thinking about iTunes. It's also playing you music. It's converting data in an MP3 file to beautiful sound in your speakers while it's trying to do all of this other stuff. Now, if you put that in a car and you're like, okay, well, the car can watch for other traffic, the car can watch for street signs and where the road's going, the car can look for pedestrians running out in the road, but the car can also know more about the car. The car can know what the temperature is, the car can know how fast it's going, the car can know what radio station you're listening to, and the car can alter those settings, just like if you were right-clicking and going, oh, I want to create a new folder, and while you're watching this video in the background, you're making a new folder on your desktop or something like that. The car can do multiple things at the same time much, much, much better than a human could. And Google has been working on this, and they're going to continue to work on this until they get it absolutely perfect. I mean, it's still in development. It's not entirely perfect, but what I was thinking about with this is, once we make cars that can drive themselves, a fairly complicated task, I mean, how close is that to being where almost everything can do it by itself, and we no longer need human operators? I mean, we've already got things like trains and, carnival rides or whatever, the fairly simple tasks where the robot goes, okay, start the machine runs its cycle, there's a pause, and it goes to start the machine again. Robots can do that. And you basically don't need a human there, you only need a human there if something were to go wrong. But as we get better and better at building these things, the chances of something going wrong are going to get smaller and smaller, to the point where you may have one person responsible for the entire amusement park's worth of rides, because the rides just only, one ride will break maybe once every 3 months, and so that one person only has a thing to do once every 3 months, and that's not that much work at all. So when are we going to get to that point? What's going to be left? I mean, if we can teach cars to drive themselves, we can teach airplanes to fly themselves, we can teach robots to do just about everything, what is going to be left for humans to do? Are we going to all become philosophers? Are we all going to become artists? Like, I can't think of what that world would be like when machines no longer need humans to watch closely and make sure they're doing okay. How is that world going to exist? I need help understanding that. And so that is my question.